as many people know, this festival started out of the pandemic when we couldn't gather together. The founder, Rosemary Panacanti, put together some artists and businesses and brought people outdoors. Well, now we're in our 5th year and we're still in the downtown core, but now we're in South Tacoma Way. We're here at Sig Brewing and we're trying to expand to more parts of the city to uplift more diverse voices. Tacoma Light Trail is a festival that intentions are to bring light using art to the darkest times of the year. If you're standing in front of an installation like this, there's always a QR code that connects you to the website that also connects you to our sound trail. We have musicians, poets, singers that have submitted, and we pair them with each one of the arts. The great thing is that you can access the trail through our website, see all the art, and listen to all the music also. Another sort of interactive part of that are some of these installations, like the one on Tolleson Plaza this past year, are actually interactive and immersive. And we're going that route too, where we want more light art that people can walk up to and touch or get inside.
Well, it was created years ago by a rogue scientist. This is not a responsible science,
Yes.
but we've kind of created protections so that you could experiment with it here.
Okay, good.
But so what he had done is he took his cat and he put it in here. Its name was Charlie. He put it in here, and what happened is when Charlie reconstituted at another location, combined with a building. This is a collaboration by a huge group of people. I think there's probably 12 of us involved, from storytellers to builders to LED artists. The idea a long time ago was to bring what we call a Meow Wolf experience to Tacoma. We've done that in a variety of different situations. One would be the space orb that we did in the past. And this is very much the same sort of thing, where there's a story here, in some ways a devious story, that people can experience and interact with on a whole nother level. It's just really fun to see people come out in the winter when it's cold and when it's rainy, and to experience all this. The Light Trail, just a great reason to get out after it's dark, where we're usually just watching TV, in Tacoma. It's our city, no reason not to love it.
And this just seemed like a fun family event. You know, we normally celebrate at home, but we wanted our youngest to have some fun. And well, who doesn't like bright lights? I certainly do. I have not been on the Tacoma Light Trail until this time, actually. This is my very first time. It's definitely nice to rub elbows with the people in your own city. Because, you know, more often than not, we're so busy with work and maybe school for kids that it's hard to meet the people in your own city. Especially after COVID happened, it's hard to meet anyone these days, so it's very nice to come out and meet people you might have never met otherwise.
So
a great quality of life here. It's a cool city, you know, cool people wanting to do good things. And I think even like with the library, like we always say, this is a rad city that deserves a rad library, right? All of our branches, of course, closed to the public in 2020 as part of the pandemic. And it was during that time my predecessor made the decision to say, can we reimagine what this space is used for so it can better meet community needs? When we reopened to the public, we started our work of trying to transform the space and bring our main services down to the first floor. Then in the fall of 2023 is when that lobby service closed and we really had our construction partners come in here and start tearing things down and building things back up. I think our real sparkly moments are things like our maker lab. So we have a suite of maker spaces, one for digital media, one for sort of general STEM fun stuff, and then also a digitization lab that we're calling our memory lab. So I think that's going to be just such a destination for our whole city for people of all ages who are interested in learning and making.
This place is great for people who need a space to craft, such as myself. I am having lots of construction done on my house and I have no room to craft, so I'm here using the public library. I just want to be out in public sometimes, out in a shared space so I can share ideas and stuff like that. So I was really excited. It's just really nice to have other creators. You can see what they're working on, take ideas from them, do all that kind of fun stuff.
This project really was on the heels of rolling out our strategic plan, which came out in 2020. And leading up to that strategic plan, we did an extensive amount of community outreach. We did surveys, we did focus groups, we talked with community organizations and stakeholders across the board. And what we really heard from them was that access to the library was important, and they wanted more than just buildings, I think, full of materials. They wanted places where they could spend their time and where they could be engaged in that learning.
This is our new children's and family area. It is where the children and their families can come and learn and be engaged in their own learning. We believe and invest in children's literacy and family coming together to help each other. Among the new things, we have computers for the kids. They are all customized for our little ones, right? So that's a very important thing. We also have tactile spaces where the kids can come and actually learn through playing. The space is also close to the teenage areas. If they come as a family, they can see their siblings playing in another section as well. And then we also have seating for families as well as family bathrooms. And that's important because oftentimes we don't think about the needs of the family as a whole, as a unit. And here we are actually providing all of that. And all of that is new.
The other really, I think, innovative part of this library is what we've done on the second floor, which is called our community hub. And this is, I think, a pioneering moment, not just locally for public libraries, but I believe nationally. When people used the library, they really wanted to spend time here. They weren't really checking out books in our before times, but they were spending time with us and they wanted to have spaces to be and spaces to learn. And so now with our 4 community partners, all of whom are mission aligned, they are going to be running programs and services on our second floor, activating it in a way that we actually weren't able to with the resourcing that we have. It's just this really beautiful partnership that's also very Tacoma. Like, this is how Tacoma works, right? Like, you meet people, you say, hey, we have this alignment, we have this shared idea, how can we work together?
It's so cool to see how much excitement there is for a library in 2025. And it's so cool to see how the library was sort of reimagined with working space and activity space, including letterpress printing, which is what we are personally passionate about. And Right 253 has this great big letterpress shop. A letterpress shop in a library funded by a city is, what an amazing thing. And to have it here in Tacoma is just remarkable. Letterpress printing is using wood and lead type and hand-carved images, and it's sort of industry meets art. in the current form, which is very fitting for Tacoma because Tacoma has very strong industrial roots and sort of a modern artistic vibe. People should come down and check it out. It's really cool. It's not your father's library.
It's bringing in the tradition. It's showing the connectivity that we have here as just local neighborhoods. And it's kind of nice that in the middle of February, where we usually have the doldrums, that we just get to celebrate. We're celebrating, what makes Tacoma special, which is the immigrant experience. The connectivity that we have in the city is what felt welcoming for my wife and I when we moved here, like many other people. And I'm looking forward to continuing it for years to come.
So this is actually one of my favorite events. I'm a 1.5 generation, as I call myself, Vietnamese American. My dad came to America as a Vietnamese refugee, and this is a festival that I come out to every year, regardless of the weather. I've been here in the rain, definitely not going to stay away because of a little snow.
This is one of the best things to happen to the city of Tacoma. I grew up in the area of South Tacoma. I went to Lincoln High School, so I've been around this neighborhood for a lot of years, and it's always just a great celebration. People coming out from the dancing, the music, the firecrackers, that kind of wake us up and scare away the evil spirits, to all the local shops, the walking around, the businesses, and just the crowds of people that are coming out for this great event. Right? It's snowing right now, and it hasn't turned down any of the energy or excitement.
I mean, one of the things that brings a smile to my face out here is just the sheer magnitude of people that show up. Every year, the crowd just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we have a really fun time out here. We have an opportunity to support our businesses here locally. We have a lot of booze, we have a lot of food, we have a lot of culture happening, and it's just really a great hodgepodge of what Tacoma is really all about.
We just moved to Tacoma in the last couple of years, and we want to be part of the community, so we wanted to come out here and support the community and see everything for Lunar New Year. It was really cool. Our favorite part was the little lion dancer, and then seeing the kids perform the taekwondo was really cool. I think it's a beautiful show of the community in Tacoma. Like, it's snowing and there's still a ton of people out here. Most of the booths, it seems like they're really supporting the Asian business owners. It's lovely, like everybody's out here supporting.
As a Tacoma resident, I myself was honestly not fully clear about what happened to the water, runoff when it hits the ground. And so just realizing that and understanding what we can do to prevent waste and contamination in our local waterways is going to help a lot. And I know that it's really enlightened myself as well.
Environmental Services is a human health organization. We're here to make sure that the city of Tacoma and the residents, community members all stay healthy. We pick up the garbage, we take care of sewer waste and wastewater, and so we're here to protect the whole community. Most people didn't know that stormwater isn't treated in Tacoma, and so That was sort of our mission, like how do we change that? How do we let people know that leaving garbage on the ground just isn't okay?
There's over 23,000 catch basins in the city of Tacoma. And so our sewer transmission team, they do a great job. They have a maintenance program where they're starting at one part of the system and cleaning and maintaining those systems. But during heavy rains, we can't maintain those systems because there's just too much volume. Basically, anything that's left in the roadway, a ditch, that can migrate into those systems, those are our pollutants that we're trying to mitigate and capture. There's a lot of little components that equate to big problems.
We found ourselves working on a project with the Tacoma Tree Foundation. We were helping tell their story and document a bit about the work that they were doing for a greening project in Tacoma. And that project, I believe, got in front of the desk of the folks at Environmental Services Department in the city.
And so we had reached out to them and kind of shared what our concept was, and if it was something that they can help support and collaborate with us.
Which was such an awesome honor for us because these are the projects that we care about so much, and to know that other organizations or the city recognizes that and wants to work with us for that reason, it just means a lot to us.
Environmental Services is doing a really amazing job in connecting with the community through artists. You know, they have a really important mission, and like, how do you get people's attention or educate folks kind of outside of atmospheres that feel very educational or sterile? When they came to us, it really was, we want to take this to the next level. We want to see how we can empower other sorts of artists to tell the story and educate people with, you know, if it hits the ground, it hits the sound.
Understanding the concept that what goes on the ground here in Tacoma affects the Puget Sound and affects our ecosystems. We wanted it to come across in a way that was really eye-catching. So we developed sort of almost a punk rock look to it, something that almost felt DIY or something you would see at a concert event or a show.
Back then I was in my room.
What does a film festival look like? How do you build it from scratch? Like, what can it look like? It took time, and we connected with the Environmental Services team and really talked about, like, what can this year look like? How can we promote things in a way that's not just through digital media, but how do we actually like have people gather around the cause, like, and share space? Because that's where like the real magic happens, right? Like, you can see it online and that can resonate with you, but have the opportunity to connect with other people, like, that's where you get to see, you know, people really connect.
A group of Tacomans, the city, banded together to save this building. And now we have an opportunity to partner once again with the city, as well as Foster's Creative, to, in essence, put the spotlight on and put forth the effort to save the water that forms so much of the economic and recreation activity that occurs in Tacoma. Many people call the Seaport sort of the central hub of the Waterway campus. And we take it very seriously, the responsibility or the obligation that we have to help draw people's attention to the water.
We all care about this environment and we all can do something. More and more people started coming to us kind of saying, well, what can we do? How can we help? And so we've had collaborations with Tacoma School District. We've had collaborations with Federal Way, Eatonville. We've presented at a conference. We're going to present at another conference in the spring this year. And when we interact with the state stormwater folks and others, like, people are just like, hey, I like this. How can we do something similar? How can we continue this message? How can we put up murals? How can we engage the community? How can we let them be a part of this and let them know how they can help?
You know, they're really working to make this thing possible, because it takes resources to do good. They are finding ways to make this actually happen in practical ways. And it's exciting to see how they've participated and collaborated. They're very active in the middle of this as well. That's been just like humbling to see, and something that I think a lot of people don't realize. It's kind of special.
Thank you guys so much for coming out.